A tearful moment turned into a miracle. Witness the power of kindness and a stray dog's loved. In the midst of her tears, a young girl sat alone, heartbroken by the cruel words of her classmates. As the school bell rang and the world moved on, she felt invisible, trapped in a cycle of pain. But then, out of nowhere, a stray German shepherd appeared, lost and alone, just like her. With a gentle nudge, he stepped into her world, offering a bond she never expected. What this dog did next was nothing short of life-changing. In that moment, everything shifted. Prepare to witness the moment that will leave you speechless. An act of kindness that will warm your heart and restore your faith in the power of compassion. Watch to see how this unlikely hero changed her life forever. Daisy was just a tiny puppy when she was brought into the world, a fragile little soul born under the dim glow of a stormy night. Her mother, a stray dog living in the cold, forgotten corners of a city, had only one thing in mind when she gave birth to Daisy: survival. She had seen so many pups come and go, their little hearts fading away before they ever had the chance to experience the world. Daisy, however, was different. From the moment she took her first breath, the little puppy fought with everything she had. She was full of life, her small body trembling but determined to grow. But survival on the streets was never easy. Her mother, though loving and protective, had to move constantly to stay one step ahead of the dangers lurking in the dark alleys. By the time Daisy was old enough to begin walking, her world had already been shaped by hardship. The busy streets were filled with dangers, and even the kindest people could turn their backs, pretending not to see the suffering of those who lived in the shadows. Yet Daisy's spirit remained unbroken. She would wag her little tail at anyone who passed by, her eyes filled with hope. She never knew if anyone would stop, but she never stopped trying to get their attention. She longed for love, for someone to notice her, to care for her. One chilly morning, as Daisy and her mother wandered through a park in search of food, a little girl named Emily walked by. Emily was no stranger to loneliness. Her parents were always busy, and though they loved her, their work and commitments often kept them apart. She spent most of her time at school, trying to fit in, trying to find a sense of belonging in a world that didn't always understand her. Emily's heart was heavy that day as she walked through the park, feeling as though she was drifting further and further from the people she cared about. But as she walked past the old bench, she stopped in her tracks. There, sitting on the cold ground, was a small puppy. Her tiny body was trembling, and her brown eyes looked up at Emily with such sadness and hope that Emily couldn't help but feel a pull in her chest. She approached the puppy slowly, unsure of what to do. Daisy looked up at her, wagging her tail hesitantly. Emily reached down and stroked the puppy's head gently, feeling the warmth of her tiny body under her fingers. It was a simple gesture, but it was enough to make Daisy feel seen. Emily looked around and realized that the puppy was all alone. Daisy's mother had disappeared into the nearby bushes, likely searching for food or trying to keep out of sight of the people passing by. Emily's heart ached for the little pup, so full of life but so clearly in need of help. She knelt down beside Daisy and whispered softly, "Hey there, little one. Are you okay?" The puppy looked up at her with a soft whine, her eyes filled with trust. Without thinking, Emily gently scooped Daisy into her arms, cradling her as if she had known the puppy her entire life. Emily's heart swelled with affection as she felt the warmth of the tiny body in her arms. She knew in that moment that she couldn't leave Daisy alone. The puppy had found her, and now it was Emily's turn to protect her. Emily walked slowly back toward her house, Daisy nestled safely in her arms. As they passed through the gate, Emily's heart fluttered. She had made a decision. She would take care of this puppy, no matter what it took. Her parents were surprised to see her come home with the puppy, but after some persuasion, they agreed to let Emily keep her. They could see the bond forming between them. The love and trust that Daisy gave Emily was unlike anything she had felt before. Emily took Daisy to the vet, where she was given a clean bill of health, and then they settled into their new life together. Daisy quickly became a part of the family, following Emily everywhere she went. As the days passed, Emily and Daisy grew even closer. They would walk through the park together, Emily's hand resting gently on Daisy's back. They would play in the backyard, laughing as Daisy bounded across the grass with energy and excitement. There was a joy in Emily's heart that had been missing for so long, a sense of fulfillment that came from caring for something so pure, so innocent. Daisy had found her place in Emily's life, and Emily had found a friend who would never let her down. But life, as always, had its own plans. Emily's family faced financial difficulties, and her parents had to move to a new city. It was a hard decision, but one that had to be made. As the moving truck packed up their things, Emily stood on the porch, looking out over the yard. Daisy sat by her side, her little head tilted, sensing the change in the air. Emily knew that the move would be difficult, but she promised Daisy that no matter what, they would be together. The bond they shared was stronger than any obstacle life could throw at them. The first few months in the new city were tough. Emily missed her friends, the familiar faces, and the comfort of home. But Daisy was always there, by her side through every new experience. It wasn't long before Emily began to feel the warmth of new friendships, and the once cold and lonely city began to feel like home. Daisy became a source of comfort and joy for everyone they met. Her playful spirit and affectionate nature won over the hearts of everyone who crossed her path. One day, as Emily sat in the park with Daisy, a man approached them. He was smiling, his eyes bright with kindness. "What a beautiful dog," he said. "She looks like she's brought so much joy into your life." Emily nodded, her heart full of love. "She has," she replied softly. "She's changed everything for me." The man smiled warmly, then handed Emily a card. "I'm a dog trainer," he said. "If you ever want some tips on how to help Daisy reach her full potential, I'd be happy to help." Emily took the card, feeling a rush of gratitude for the unexpected kindness of a stranger. It was a reminder that there were good people in the world, just as there were good dogs. As Emily and Daisy continued their journey together, they both grew stronger and more confident. They faced challenges, yes, but they always had each other. And through it all, Emily realized that Daisy had given her more than just companionship, she had given her hope. Daisy had reminded Emily that no matter how dark the world seemed, love and kindness could always find their way through. Daisy had been the little light in Emily's life, the one who had saved her from the loneliness and sadness that once felt overwhelming. In return, Emily gave Daisy a life filled with love, safety, and the promise of never being alone again. Their journey together had only just begun, and Emily knew that as long as they had each other, they would always find their way.